Everybody wants to walk through the sunshine with you, but when you get in a shadow, people will walk off and leave you by yourself. As long as they perceive that you're going up on the mountain and you're walking in light, they'll get right behind you and try to walk with you. There never has been, and there never ever will be another you. You in a class all by yourself. And as soon as you figure out who you are and stop worrying about them shadows, you'll know you have no competition because you're in a class all by yourself. There are certain things that only God can do in my life. And I don't really even know exactly what all I'm asking him for in 2025. All I know is that whatever it brings, I don't want to face it without him. I don't want to do a funeral without him. I don't want to do a wedding without him. I don't want to raise a child without him. I don't want to go through a test without him. I don't want to go through whatever 2025 has for me. It's going to be better with him in it. When you are responsible for people, it creates stress and trauma because the moment they become disruptive, they attack you. Jump in the pool when somebody's drowning and watch them punch you. And here you jumped in to save them. And now you have to fight the one you're trying to save. God will drown what's chasing you, baby. He will drown what's chasing you. If you just keep on following him, don't worry about the enemy behind you. Greater is he that's in you than he that's after you. You are who you are, not because of what men say who you are. You just are. If you're a model, you're a model. If you're a queen, you're just a queen. I don't care if you're sitting on your back porch shucking peas, you're still a queen. I don't care if you're making up beds, you're still a queen. You're going to reclaim everything the enemy tried to take away from you. You're about to step into a dominion that requires that you go outside of your camp, outside of your arena, outside of your circle, and you can't worry about their disapproval. You got to be willing to step into your destiny and your purpose, and you got to be willing to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. The enemy wouldn't be distracting you if you didn't have an assignment. And one of the great things I've learned about life is to learn to distinguish the distraction from the assignments. Because many are the times that you will land on a branch and the branch breaks. And if you don't remember your wings, you will fall. Don't change on me. Don't make me trust you. Don't make me open my heart. Don't do that to me. If you're going to be dry, just go ahead and be dry so I can put you in the dry box. Don't start it if you're not going to finish it. Stop being drawn only to people who need you. For this next year we're going through, you need people that feed you, that pour into you, that challenge you, that make you read, that make you study, that make you pray, because you're getting ready to go higher. Slap your neighbor and say, I'm getting ready for higher. There's some folks in here that's about to get millions. There's some folks in here that think like millionaires. You're willing to sacrifice right now because what is ahead of you is greater than what's behind you. It's somebody watching online. God means for you to hear this kind of word because God is going to do amazing things in your life, but it will never happen without sacrifice. You can only give to people what has been given to you. As Jesus said, as the Father have loved me, so love I you. And so what has been poured into me is all that can pour out of me. You think you got to put out every fire before God can work. When the truth of the matter is, God is a present help in the time of trouble. You need him in the fiery furnace. He doesn't put out the fire before he comes in. He works in the middle of the fiery furnace. He works right in the middle of the storm. The thing about wine is that it swells. And that's why you can't put new wine in old skins because it swells. And sometimes the people we build around us are old skins who won't give us breathing room to swell to our capacity. They love you as long as you stay on a certain level. You're just a desperate person, tired of living with a demonic situation. Glory to God, and I feel like you're going to get a breakthrough in here today. Hell is nervous. Demons are trembling. Satan is upset. And yes, I know it's a witch watching, but I'm not scared of you, because greater is he that is in me than he that's in the world. Somebody give him 30 seconds of... People will see you do stuff and they'll try to act like you. But you can't act like me, because ain't nobody me but me. Ain't nobody me but me. You can get my suit, but you can't get me. You can get my tie, but you can't get me. You can wear my shoes, but you can't get me. There ain't never gonna be another. In all the years I've been me, there's always been somebody who hated me. So I couldn't spend the rest of my life trying to fix the hate. I gotta go ahead, because you'll run out of time. I'm going to break loose, and I'm going to break loose over the next 3 days in a crazy way. I'm going to break through over the next 3 days into a brand new dimension. I'm going to break through in the next 3 days with everything I got. And if I'm talking to you, holla at your boy. Why would I turn my weapons loose on you, even if you turn yours on me? I'm not saying I won't defend myself, but I won't go where I could go. Because once you go where you could go, either them toward me or me toward them, you can't get that back. Once you start really letting me have it, don't you think I'm sorry it's gonna make me get amnesia. Any door God opens for you, even if it's a unique door, he wouldn't open it for you if you couldn't handle it. So how many folks are ready to walk into some new doors? God's got great things. If you're watching online, you're not here by mistake. God's got great things in store for you. No matter how much money you make in life, if when you get ready to die, those that you love the most are not gathered around your bed, then you are poor. Mm. There will be no U-Hauls behind hearses. Mm-hmm. There will only be mourning families if you're wise enough to protect that. Mm. And you have to protect that at all costs. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you tweet about me. Because if I get sick, you're not going to wipe my mouth. Mm-hmm. You're not going to set me up in the bed or change my clothes. So why should I put so much energy into you at the expense of putting energy into him? I want to talk to every depressed, broken, wounded, hurting person in this room, that you might be weeping right now, but they that sow in tears shall reap in joy. There's something that you get from the tears that makes you able to receive the blessing. Stop trying to take shortcuts to get to success. Are you allowing yourself to be hurt over the rejection of somebody you're not even called to? Jesus had a clear sense of his purpose and his mission, and he had a clear sense that he was not generic, and he had a clear sense that he wasn't everybody's cup of tea, and he was cool with it. He was cool with being controversial. He was cool with being an outcast by certain circles. He didn't keep contorting himself into other forms trying to get everybody to like him until you lost all sense of identity, twisting yourself over and over into all kind of shapes, trying to fit in the people who have already made up their mind they don't want you. They don't want you. They don't want you. So you might as well stand up and be who you are. My haters hate me because they see my shepherd. But if they saw my shadow, they would pray for me, because sometimes I can't see my own shepherd for seeing my shadows. I don't know who I'm talking to, but God said you've been up too many nights, and it's time for you to just go go to bed and rest in the Lord, that he that hath began a good work in you shall perform it unto the day of Jesus Christ. Who am I talking to in here? You bent over backwards, you bent over forwards, you got down on the floor, you've cried, you prayed, nothing you do seems to be enough. This is a job for Jesus. If I'm talking to you, make some noise in this house. Does your faith embrace God for who he is, or do you just love him because of what he did? Because if you only love him because of what he did, what happens when he stops doing it? What happens when you enter into another season? What happens when grandma dies? What happens when you have a mastectomy? What happens to your faith when life gets tough? Until you love him for who he is, rather than praise him for what he did, you will never please him, because your unbelief suggests that God is a liar. You will never fix that marriage being angry. You will never help that child being angry. You will never solve that problem being angry. You will never succeed in your company going to work angry. Nobody wants to work with somebody with attitude. Nobody wants to sign a contract with somebody who's got an attitude. Nobody wants to come home to an angry man. Nobody wants to come home to an angry woman. Things will never get better. I'm just mad. I'm just going to be mad, but I'm praying about it. Stop praying about it, because the wrath of men worketh not the righteousness of God. So you got to do something with your wrath. You got to reel it back, because your wrath is stopping your prayers from being. Let me get off it. I'm sorry. People are great when you're up, but when you're down, they'll run out. When you're weak, they'll run out. When you make mistakes, they'll run out. The thing I love the most about him is that God never gives up on you. Just because he doesn't work with your time schedule doesn't mean that he's not working in your behalf. It doesn't have to look like it's working to be working. It's working when it doesn't feel like it's working. It's working when it doesn't look like it's working. It's working when you don't see like it's working. It's still working in your behalf. The absence of intimacy creates loneliness, causes us to overvalue strangers and devalue people who are closer. I don't care how much discernment you have, there are seasons of life that you go through that you never saw it coming. You couldn't see it coming because people change. In January, they were one way, and in June, they were another way. And by the time you got to October, you wondered, did you ever even know them in the first place? It's not the step you step on that creaks. It's the one you step away from. So when you're walking up the steps, the step creaks when you release the weight of being on that step and move to the next one. What am I saying? It's not where you're going that's fighting you. It's where you left. God put you there to learn something. It's not always about the money. Sometimes it's about the moment. Sometimes it's about somebody you met. Sometimes it's somebody God sent you there to influence. Everything is not about you. And just because you're going through a bad time right now doesn't mean that you don't have a great ending. And just because you went backwards don't mean you won't go forward. And just because you're in a down-setting moment doesn't mean you're not about to stand up on your feet like you never stood in your life before. I'm talking to somebody and I don't know who it is. And if you're watching online and you know somebody who needs to hear this, text them right quick and tell them to log on right now, because God has given me a message that they cannot afford to miss. Because I'm so focused on what I'm doing that sometimes I forget how I am feeling. And I don't check with myself to get still enough to find out where am I. Not only where am I, what's in me. I cannot produce your fruit, so never be jealous. You have to focus on what you believe God gave you to do, the assignment that God gave you to do, and avoid generic titles. Be what you were created to be, and be strong enough in your disruptive thinking to withstand the distraction of those who heckle you and do nothing while they criticize you're something. So when you start talking about disruptive thinking, you give away what you want. You want love, you have to give love. You want peace, you have to give peace. You want to be understood, you have to seek to understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so disrupting the way we think changes the way we grow. How many times are we chasing something that we haven't thought about? If I catch it, what am I going to do with it? Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. How many times are we chasing positions, chasing people, chasing opportunities, but if we catch it, we have no plan of what to do next. And if you don't have a plan for what you're going to do next, you're never going to walk into the purpose of God. People who are successful in the kingdom, people who are successful in life have already thought, when I get there, I'm going to do this. When I get there, I'm going to do that. When I get there, I'm going to do the other. They have a strong sense of focusing on autonomy and flexibility. I gotta run if you don't run. I got to move if you don't move. I got to be flexible to turn when you're turning, because I am concerned about outcomes. And if I have to turn, and if I have to move, and if I have to flex, whatever it takes for me to get there, I'm willing to do it. But people who love the process says, I'm not going to turn because I didn't plan to turn, and I can't make a change because I don't like changes, and I'm in love with the process and not the outcome. But people who like the outcome will drive down the alley, they'll drive through somebody's backyard, they'll climb over a fence, they'll leap over the wall, because they're not worried about how they look, they're worried about the outcome.